Hello everyone, I welcome you all on our YouTube channel, GATE Classes by the TechU Faculties. I am Chandrapal Singh Inda and this is my brief introduction. Today is our third lecture on convection heat transfer, and today we will have empirical relationship for laminar and turbulent flow for flow over the flat plate. In a previous class, we have started external forced convection, means flow over flat plate, and we have also identified the physical quantities present in the forced convection system, and we had relationship between these physical quantities, and that is Nusselt number is equal to the function of Reynolds number and Prandtl number. So we can say the forced convection system is described by these three-dimensionless numbers. In a forced convection, the flow of the fluid is due to the external force mechanism. So Reynolds number comes into picture and it tells us about whether the flow is laminar or turbulent. So today we will have empirical relationship between these three numbers for laminar flow and turbulent flow. Therefore, we have to first calculate the value of Reynolds number so that we can identify that flow is laminar or turbulent. So, if the value of Reynolds number is lesser than 5 into 10 to the power 5, which is a value of critical Reynolds number, if the value of Reynolds number is lesser than 5 into 10 to the power 5, then we will consider flow as a laminar. And if the value of Reynolds number is greater than 5 into 10 to the power 5, then the flow will be treated as turbulent flow. So let's have one basic question. Then after we will start the empirical relationship for laminar flow. Then we will have empirical relationship for the turbulent flow. So this question was in GATE exam, and the question was asking, for flow of a viscous fluid over the flat plate, if the fluid temperature is same as the plate temperature, the thermal boundary layer is. So the option is we have to identify the thermal boundary layer is thinner than the velocity boundary layer, or thicker than the velocity boundary layer, or both the thickness are same, means thickness of thermal boundary layer and the velocity boundary layer is same, or not found at all. So let's see what happens whenever there is a flow of fluid over the flat plate, and if there is a relative velocity between the fluid and the solid surface, then definitely hydrodynamic boundary layer will form, and it is represented like this. So this is a direction of the flow, x direction, and this is a direction of y, in which we have velocity gradient. So boundary layer is a region. There we find velocity gradient, and similarly for the thermal boundary layer, if the thermal boundary layer is there, then there will be a temperature gradient in the normal direction of the fluid flow. So here we can say the velocity is increasing from this surface to the this boundary layer formed point. So this is treated as a boundary layer thickness delta. And for thermal boundary layer, the temperature is decreasing, as if the temperature is temperature of surface is greater than the temperature of the fluid, then the temperature is reaches from Ts to T infinite. Means for thermal boundary layer there should be existence of temperature gradient in the normal direction, but here in the question the temperature of the fluid and temperature of the plate is same, so there will be no relative temperature difference, or there is no temperature difference, so dt is 0 here. So boundary layer will not form, means thermal boundary layer will not form over the flat plate. So the option number D is correct for this question. Let's have empirical relationship for the Reynolds number for laminar flow, in which Reynolds value of the Reynolds number should be lesser than 5 into 10 to the power 5. So first we have empirical relationship given by Balasius. Balasius solution. For the convection topic, the results are important of the boundary layer problems. So here I am not going into the mathematical analysis of the boundary layer problems, as that is not important for the convection topic, but the result is important, so I am directly writing the result. And the result obtained by the Balasius was delta, means boundary layer thickness, is 5x of under root or square root of local Reynolds number. So this represent the boundary layer thickness at a particular point. So x represent the distance from the leading edge. As the boundary layer, as the fluid flows, and due to the relative velocity, there will be a formation of boundary layer. So this x is a distance from the leading edge. X is the direction of flow and y is the direction of the heat transfer or normal direction. So this x is a distance from the leading edge. So we can find the value of boundary layer thickness at each and every section on the flat plate if we have the distance from the leading edge. So here we have one more result, and that is local skin friction coefficient, whose value is 0.664 divided by local Reynolds number. So similarly we can find the value of local skin friction coefficient at each and every point. But if you talk about the value of average local average skin friction coefficient, then we have to accumulate all these values of local skin friction coefficient, then we have to take the average. So in that case we will have the average of this local skin coefficient friction, and that is called as a average skin friction coefficient. So we can find the value of average of skin friction coefficient, and that will be equal to, and that will given by this formula 1 by L integration 0 to L Cfx dx. So if we have the value of local skin friction coefficient at that point, so we can find the value of average skin friction coefficient at that section by using this formula. And according to this formula we can find the value. So let's find the average value, and what is find the relationship between average skin friction coefficient and local skin friction coefficient. That Cfx is given by this. So this is the integration between for the dx, So let's have we will have that 0.664 divided by rho v mu and x. So we can write here these all quantities are constant, so this is c into x raised to minus 1 by 2. So c fx average is equal to 1 by l. L means up to this point, 0 to l cfx dx, and the value of cfx is constant into 1 by l 0 to l cx raised to minus 1 by 2 dx. Then we have c by l x raised to minus 1 by 2 plus 1 divided by 1 by 2 0 to l, and we will have 2 into constant into l power minus 1 by 2. So this will give us, this value will give us similar to this point, means the average skin friction coefficient is twice of local skin friction coefficient. So we can say the cf x bar is equal to 1.328 divided by the Reynolds number. So it may be asked in the exam that what is the relationship between average skin friction coefficient and local skin friction coefficient. So it is a twice for the laminar flow. This is for the so these two results were obtained by the Balasius, and based on these two results, his PhD student used and solved the energy equation, and after solving the energy equation, the result was obtained, and that was that Nusselt number, local result number, is equal to 0.332 times Reynolds power 1 by 2 and Prandtl's power 1 by 3. So by this this is empirical relationship between these three dimensionless number for external forced convection or flow over the flat plate. So by this we can find the value of convective heat transfer coefficient. After that we can find the value of convective heat transfer. Similarly, here whatever we obtained, that means local convective heat transfer coefficient Hx, and that is x by k of fluid is equal to 0.33 times of fluid in Reynolds number at x raised to 1 by 2 and Prandtl's power 1 by 3. So whatever we have, or this value is represented as a local convective heat transfer coefficient. So similarly, by the previous formula, we can find the value of average for the convective heat transfer coefficient by using that average value of convective heat transfer coefficient will be equal to 1 by L 0 to L Hx dx. So let's find the value of average convective heat transfer coefficient. So Hx is equal to So this is how we find the value of local convective heat transfer coefficient, and we have these all values are constant. So we can write it as a constant a x raised to minus 1 by 2. So here we can say, by this relationship we can say the value of convective heat transfer coefficient decreases as the fluid moves in a x direction. So here we can find the value of average convective heat transfer coefficient, and this is similar to the previous case, like where the integration was proportional to the x power minus 1 by 2. So here we will have the same result, means the h bar will be 2 times of hx. This is also for the laminar flow. So we can say for a laminar flow, the average value of convective heat transfer coefficient is 2 times the value of local convective heat transfer coefficient. So this empirical relationship can be written for the average like that the Nusselt number, average Nusselt number is equal to 0.332 Reynolds power 1 by 2 Prandtl power 1 by 3 multiplied by 2, or Nusselt number is equal to 0.664 Prandtl power 1 by 3 and Reynolds power 1 by 2. So these results were obtained by using Balesius result, and this empirical relationship was found by his Balesius PhD student Paul Hussein. So next we have Van Karman integral equation. The result obtained by the Van Karman was means not exact. It is treated as a so it is treated as a approx technique, means the result obtained by the Van Karman are approx result. So according to this, the value of boundary layer thickness delta is 4.64 x, and the value of local skin friction coefficient is 0.646 power means divided by Reynolds number, square root of Reynolds number, and these results were used to solve the energy equation, and by solving the energy equation we have empirical relationship that local Reynolds number, Nusselt number is equal to 0.331 Reynolds power 1 by 2 and Prandtl power 1 by 3. So the results are quite similar to the Balesius solution, but this is not treated as approx or exact result. This is as approx values. So by these two empirical relationship, we can find the value of local convective heat transfer or average heat transfer by calculating the value of convective heat transfer coefficient using these methods by applying these empirical relationship. So third third technique that we are going to use is Reynolds analogy. Reynolds analogy used used for gas. If the fluid is gas, means whose Prandtl value is lesser than 1. So they in Reynolds, and in this analogy the results were obtained by using the value of Prandtl number is equal to 1, and uh, they interrelate between the fluid friction and the Newton's law of viscosity, through which we obtain the result that Stanton number, local Stanton number, is equal to the Cfx by 2. So Stanton number is equal to the, this number is equal to the ratio of Nusselt number upon Reynolds number and Prandtl number. So by solving this we have that h x by k divided by rho v x by mu and mu cp by k. Here we will have h by rho cp v. So we can have delta t multiply by both side. So Stanton number can also be defined as, Stanton number can also be defined as, it is a ratio of heat flux, the convective heat flux offered by the fluid to the, or it is that it is h delta t, means it is a heat flux and this heat flux is offered by the fluid. So exact heat flux offered by the fluid, and rho cp denotes the storage capacity of the fluid. So it is equal to the actual heat flux offered by the fluid to the heat flux stored, or heat stored capacity, flux capacity of the fluid. So this is the value of Stanton number. Through the Reynolds analogy, we have this result that Stanton number is equal to the Cfx by 2. This is a local skin friction coefficient. Next analogy that we are going to use is Colburn analogy. According to the Colburn analogy, as we have the result that Nusselt number is equal to the 0.332 times of Reynolds raised to 1 by 2 and Prandtl's power 1 by 3. Here we can divide by Reynolds number and Prandtl number. Reynolds number and Prandtl number on the both side. Then we have that if this value is represented by the Stanton number is, and this will be represented by Cfx by Cfx by 2, and this will be Prandtl's raised to 2 by 3rd. Here we will have Stanton number into Prandtl's power 2 by 3rd, that will be equal to Cfx by 2. So The result obtained by the Colburn analogy and the Reynolds analogy that will be equal when the value of Prandtl number will be 1. So if you put the value of Prandtl number is equal to 1 in Colburn analogy, then the result will be equal to the Reynolds analogy. As we have said that in a Reynolds analogy, the value of Prandtl number is considered as a 1, and the Reynolds analogy can be used only for the gas when the fluid is gas. So we have four empirical relationship for the laminar flow for by given by the different scientists. So these four analogy we will use these four analogy to find the value of local convective heat transfer coefficient Hx. After finding this value, we can find the value of average convective heat transfer coefficient by multiplying h bar by multiplying by 2. So we can find the value of average, that is for the laminar flow. Let's have a numerical problem over this. So this was in GATE 2011. The question was saying the ratio of laminar hydrodynamic boundary layer thickness to thermal boundary layer thickness of flows of two fluid P and Q. So that is delta by delta T for P is equal to 1 by 2 and delta by delta T for Q fluid is 2. The Reynolds number based on the plate length for the both the flow is, so Reynolds number is 10 to the power 4. So we can say by the Reynolds number for both fluid, the value of Reynolds number is same, and that is 10 to the power 4, and the flow is laminar flow. The Prandtl and Nusselt number for P, the Prandtl number is for P is 1 by 8 and Nusselt number for P is 35. So what is required to be find the Prandtl and Nusselt number for the Q respectively. So by this means the ratio of, as we have studied that the ratio of delta by delta T is proportional or equal to the Prandtl's power 1 by 3rd. So here we have that for a P, for fluid P, the value of this is that 1 by 2 is equal to Prandtl's power 1 by 3rd. Then we have Prandtl number for P is 1 by 8, that is what given in the question. Now we can find, similarly we can find the value of Prandtl number for Q fluid by using this formula. So we will have, as the ratio of delta by delta T is given equal to the 2 is equal to Prandtl's power 1 by 3rd for Q fluid. Then we have the Prandtl number is equal to the 8. So option number B is incorrect and D is incorrect. So we have two option A and option C. So let's find the value of Nusselt number for the laminar flow for flow over the flat plate. So the Nusselt number is given by the Nusselt number for P fluid is equal to 0.332 times of Reynolds power 1 by 2 divided by Prandtl's power 1 by third. And similarly for Q fluid is Nusselt number for Q fluid is 0.332 Prandtl's power 1 by third and Reynolds power 1 by 2. So we can correlate them and we can divide these both the equation and we can correlate and find the value of Nusselt number for the Q fluid. Here we have Reynolds number equal, then we can cancel out it, and this is constant value, this is again cancelled out. So value of Nusselt number for P fluid is given, so that is 35 by Nusselt's number Q for Q fluid is equal to Prandtl number for the Q fluid. And Prandtl number for the fluid P fluid is 1 by 8 power 1 by 3, and Prandtl number for Q fluid is equal to 8 as we have find earlier, so it is 8's power 1 by third. Then we have uh, 35 divided by Nusselt's number for Q fluid is equal to, this will give us 1 by 2 and this will give us 2. Then the Nusselt number for Q will be 35 into 35 multiplied by 4, and that will be equal to 140. So the option number A is correct. So this is how we have used, and this is how we are required to use the value of empirical relationship for the laminar flow. So let's start with the empirical relationship for turbulent flow. So let's have empirical relationship for the turbulent flow. So whenever there is a turbulent flow, then prior to this there will be a laminar flow. Like after this point there is a turbulent flow. So we can find this length that is represent the laminar flow, that is a value from the leading edge, by putting Reynolds number equal to 5 into 10 to the power 5. So we can have rho v x cr means critical length divided by mu is equal to 5 into 10 to the power 5. From here we can have x critical hence critical length up to which the flow is treated as a laminar. So here we can have two types of two method in which when the laminar flow is very neglect or very means critical length is very less than the length of the plate, or laminar flow is not to be considered. This type of flow is considered as fully developed laminar flow, fully developed turbulent flow. In this we can say if x critical is very less than the length of the plate, in that case we are not going to consider the laminar flow, and the result is obtained like that Stanton number x is equal to, or Prandtl's power 2 by third is equal to the 0.296 Reynolds power minus 1 by 5. This will give us that the Nusselt number, the local Nusselt number is equal to 0.296 Reynolds power 4 by 5, local Reynolds numbers power 4 by 5 into Prandtl's power 1 by 3. So this is an empirical relation for the term fully developed turbulent flow. So by using this empirical relationship we can find the value of local convective heat transfer coefficient, that Hx is equal to, this is constant, and here we will have Hx by k will be equal to 0.296 rho v mu power 4 by 5 x power 4 by 5 multiplied by Prandtl power 1 by 3. So here we can have h x is equal to the constant, as this is constant, this is constant, this is constant, these all things are treated as a constant value. So we will have x raised to minus 1 by 5. So here we also can say that as the distance from the leading edge increases in the turbulent flow, the value of local convective heat transfer coefficient get decreases. Similarly, as we have find the value of average convective heat transfer coefficient, here we can also find the value of average convective heat transfer coefficient, like putting that h bar will be equal to 0 to L 1 by L Hx dx. Here we know that the Hx is proportional to the x raised to minus 1 by 5. So we have 1 by L 0 to L h x is equal to constant x raised to minus 1 by 5 dx. So we have 1 c by L multiplied by x raised to minus 1 by 5 plus 1 and minus 1 by 5 plus 1 and 0 to length. This L is up to which we have to find the value of average heat transfer coefficient, and we have h bar is equal to c multiplied by x power 4 by 5 divided by 4 by 5. So this term will give us about the local convective heat transfer coefficient at that particular point, and the result will be 4 by 5 by 4 times of the Hx. Means for the turbulent flow, the value of average heat transfer coefficient, convective heat transfer coefficient, is equal to the 5 by 4 times of the local convective heat transfer coefficient. So this was the first method in which we can find the value of local Nusselt number by using this empirical relation. And there is one another method in which the laminar flow is significant. Means the value of this critical length is quite equal or not negligible as compared to the length of the plate. In that case, we are going to use Coleman analogy. According to this, what we have to do is we have to find the average value of that particular means for the entire length. For entire length, we can have 1 by L 0 to xcr means up to critical length hx dx. This is for the laminar flow plus xcr to the length hx dx. So when there is a laminar flow and turbulent flow both exist on the plate, then we can use this analogy, and according to this we will have the value of Nusselt number will be equal to Nusselt number. This will be an average value, as we have started with the finding the average convective heat transfer coefficient. So this value will be an average value of the Nusselt number. So this average value of the Nusselt number will be equal to 0.036 Reynolds power 4 by 5 minus 896 multiply by Prandtl's power 1 by third. So this by using this analogy, Corbin analogy, when the laminar and turbulent flow both exist over the flow of over the solid boundary, in that case we are going to use this Corbin analogy, and by using this we can find the value of average value of convective heat transfer coefficient. So we can use the empirical relationship to find the value of convective heat transfer coefficient, and through which we can find the value of convective heat transfer. But for the gate exam, the most of the question which is arrived in the gate exam, the means the relationship between these three dimensionless number is already given. So by using the empirical relation given in the question, we have to find the value of, as the question has asked. So let's have variation of convective heat transfer coefficient with the length of the plate. So for this, to find the how the value of local convective heat transfer varies over the flat plate length. This is the x direction. In the x direction we are considering the length of the plate, and in y direction this is local convective heat transfer coefficient. So for the laminar flow, we have that hx is proportional to the x power minus 1 by 2, means as the length varies for the laminar flow, the value of local convective heat transfer coefficient decreases, like this, that initially we have when the initially we have convective heat transfer coefficient value this, and this is decreases like this, and up to this we have a laminar flow. After this there is a transition flow so as we know that the convective heat transfer coefficient for the turbulent flow is way greater than the convective heat transfer coefficient in a laminar flow, because the momentum distribution is more in the turbulent boundary layer. So, and for this is for the laminar, and hx is proportional to the x raised to minus 1 by 5 for turbulent flow. So the value similarly in a turbulent flow, the value of local convective heat transfer decreases like this, means here hx is proportional to the x raised to minus 1 by 5. This is how the value are varying with the length of the plate or flow over the flat plate. So we conclude today's lecture over here. In the next class we will start internal forced convection, and we also will have natural convection or free convection. So we'll conclude today's class here.